Alright, so people are mad about how fast the series is going. Like, we're literally about to begin Gojo vs Sukuna. Gege has once again confirmed that the series is ending this year. We didn't get a training arc. The fight is about to begin, potentially the final fights in the whole series. People are confused. For example, we got this page, this chapter. Did Yuji switch bodies or something like that? Was it a translation error? Let me know down below. And then we have, of course, absolute hype for things I already mentioned. The fight is actually happening. Everything is coming to an end. Peak Jujutsu Kaisen, we are here. Subscribe to the channel, let's continue. So the chapter begins with Sukuna just chilling, getting 19 out of his 20 fingers. However, he implies that Gojo actually has the last remaining finger. He's been keeping it the whole time to save Yuji from being executed by the higher-ups. If you don't remember, the deal at the very start of the series for Yuji to be Sukuna's vessel is that once he collects all the fingers, he will be executed in turn, taking out Sukuna as well. But if Gojo was to keep one of those fingers hidden, that means Yuji would never need to be executed. So once again, Gojo is absolutely goated, and most likely is the case, definitely in character. However, he seems to be replacing the last finger with his actual corpse. If you remember a few chapters ago, we see Kenjaku and Tengen pulling up on the, I guess, mummified version of Sukuna from the past. And now we have the girl giving it to him and Sukuna consuming it. I talked about in a previous video that maybe this would come back into play after the Gojo fight for Sukuna to, I guess, put his soul or body into, but that very clearly isn't the case. And technically, wouldn't the head of his previous body like be stronger than just one of the fingers? I think it actually would be. Regardless, this should be the strongest version of Sukuna that we've ever seen in the series, especially considering he has Megumi's body and his 10 shadow techniques. Mugaraga, what can I say? Something I'm very glad about is that the fight between Gojo and Sukuna is purely going to be a one-on-one. No one from the Jujutsu High side is going to interfere unless Gojo is defeated. That's where Yuta and everyone else will pull up on Sukuna, as that will be their only chance to take him out. I guess perhaps confirmation that when it comes to Sukuna, not even someone like Yuta will be able to deal with him, only Gojo really has a chance. And then when it comes to Sukuna's side, none of them really want to mess with Gojo. Kenjaku's been chilling right next to Sukuna throughout these whole days out of fear of being killed by Gojo, saying, "I had no choice. If I left Sukuna's side before today, Gojo would have just killed me." So none of them want to mess with Gojo as they will be killed. So for the most part, the fight between Sukuna and Gojo will definitely just be a one-on-one, depending on the outcome. Of course, I personally believe Gojo is going to defeat Sukuna in a way of sacrificing himself, but saving Megumi in the process. I don't know exactly how this is going to happen, but by the end of the fight, Gojo will be no more, Sukuna will be no more, but Megumi will be returned. And then the true final battle, Kenjaku vs everyone else, which will be concluding the series. However, there is a possibility that Yuji could play a part in the final blow against Sukuna. Maybe Gojo sacrifices himself to release Megumi in some way. Whatever's going to happen, I don't think Sukuna or Gojo are going to survive until the end of the series. If we're going to be getting multiple fights at the same time, for example, Gojo vs Sukuna, and then the big war between Kenjaku, all his allies, and the rest of the Jujutsu Kaisen cast, I think Kenjaku may be in a bit of trouble. Like Yuta, Hikari, Maki, Yuji, and everyone else, that is quite strong. Yes, Kenjaku is an absolute monster, but taking all of them on at once, I don't know if he's really that guy. Maybe like a one-on-one with Yuta, we don't really know what could happen. But all of them against him, I don't know if that's going to be too fair. Of course, this girl's here as well, he could be fighting one of them. He of course has his cursed spirits, will definitely play a part. But I don't know if he's going to be in the best position. Unless of course everyone's just watching the fight between Gojo and Sukuna. And then after that, that's where everything else actually occurs. But Kenjaku has been scheming this whole series. He definitely has something up his sleeve for the final arc. Cannot wait to see. Now coming back to the complaints I've been seeing across Twitter and other places. So yes, we didn't get any training flashback for this whole fight setup. That's kinda commonplace. I don't remember any real moment we've had a dedicated few chapters to characters training. Maybe one chapter or maybe part of chapters, but multiple dedicated to training. That hasn't been Jujutsu Kaisen's thing whatsoever. Ever since the Shibuya Incident arc, the pacing has been extremely fast. Yes, I expected the culling games to go on a little bit longer and didn't expect Gojo to be unsealed in the way he did last chapter and straight away following that to be ready for his battle against Sukuna. I expected a little break between that and potentially Gojo fighting others before Sukuna. For example, why is this guy still alive? We know who he killed. We know all of the high-ups in the Jujutsu Kaisen world pretty much forbid everyone from releasing Gojo. Now that he's released, that point isn't really coming up whatsoever. I expected Gojo to be released, get revenge, kill all the higher-ups, meet his students, maybe have 1 or 2 chapters training them up, preparing them for the final battle. I guess perhaps even saying their final goodbyes as they wouldn't really know what's going to happen next. And then we get the final battle. That all would have made more sense and I guess would be better. But I'm a fan of fast pacing, not wasting any time and giving us probably the greatest battle in the whole series. Why not just give it to us now and we can enjoy the absolute peak? Of course, we also have the next anime season coming out this year as well, so more Gojo greatness than that. Will Toji make his third return in the manga? We'll have to wait and see. Who knows about that guy? That could be pretty crazy. Maybe Kenjaku summons him in some way. I'm just chatting shit at this point, but who knows? Kenjaku is that guy. Can't wait to learn what Sukuna's curse technique is and the truth about him. A domain battle between Gojo and Sukuna. Everything is going to be absolute peak. Excitement through the roof. There may be some confusion about Yuji and what's going on with him, but definitely don't forget he will definitely live up to his deserving protagonist hype by the end of the series. And then we have something else that still hasn't been addressed. Nobara. Is she alive? Is she dead? Is she going to come back in the final arc? We honestly don't know. For all we know, which will be a little bit unfortunate, is she's dead and that's the end of it. It would be a little weird considering the discussions about her and implied stuff Gege has given us. I'm assuming he would have made it clear that she was dead if she was. So her coming back and still being alive, I still think is a highly likely possibility. So I guess stay tuned for that. But that's everything for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Check out all the other stuff in the description if you haven't already. And that's it, guys. Peace.